The expedition yacht Marcato is just returning from a 12,000-mile voyage from Florida to Patagonia in the south of Chile. This is the sort of global exploration that many yacht owners dream of, but only a few have a vessel that can safely and comfortably undertake such an expedition. Today we're going to have a very unique technical tour of the Yacht Marcato with Captain Jason Halvorsen.
So we've just returned from doing about a 16,000-mile voyage from Fort Lauderdale all the way through Panama Canal and down to Patagonia. Absolutely one of the most amazing experiences of my life as a captain. I've been on Marcato for just over 3 years now, but getting to take a true expedition yacht and go to places like Patagonia, take a look at, here we are looking at the boat through an iceberg or glaciers or driving it through ice. Amazing time, my first time ever driving a yacht through ice. There's just not a lot of yachts that can do what Marcato can do. It's really a boat that is a luxurious boat. It's absolutely beautiful inside. Guests enjoy it, guests have a great time, but it was built to go long places, to go far away. Whether it's to the South Pacific, you want to take it to the Northwest Passage, or you just want to go to the Caribbean, but you want to go and be comfortable and safe and not have to worry about rough weather or safety at sea. I think there's no better boat in the size range than Marcato. So right now we're on our top deck. One of the things we love about our boat is how high our top deck is. We're about 40 feet above the water, so you get a great view wherever you are. It's big, wide, expansive deck, large sun pad. Back aft, we've got an 8-person hot tub. Incredible spot if you're anchored in Alaska or the Caribbean. You get an amazing view from your hot tub. VSAT on one side and CTEL on the other side, so we have TV. Pretty much anywhere you go in the world you'll have TV as well as internet. So the boat is fully dry stack exhausts, meaning that your main engines and generators exit up here at the top. One of the beauties of this boat is how stable she is, and the reason she's so stable is because all of the weight is low. The hull is a 5/8 thick steel hull. All of our fuel, tenders, ballast, all of our water is all kept down low. Up top is an aluminum superstructure, so she's very light up top. She's a 32-foot wide boat. She's got 4 zero-speed stabilizers. Having freshwater ballast, no salt water in the boat, but freshwater ballast allows us to move that water around to really adjust how the boat's riding. So if we're in a large head sea, we can move all of our weight forward. If you're in a following sea, you can move your weight back. Really gives you the ability to sort of fine-tune the ride of the boat for whatever sea conditions you're in. So here we are on our port and starboard wing stations. One of the things that's great from a captain's standpoint is whenever you're docking, coming into a port, you've got an amazing view from our wing stations. You can see pretty much from bow to stern. So our wing stations are midship. It's pretty unique. You don't see it in too many yachts, but from a captain's standpoint, it's incredible because as you're coming in and out of a slip or in and out of a marina, the boat's going to pivot on you. So as you're clearing a piling, you know that once you're clear of it, the boat's going to spin. It gives you a really unique feel when you're docking the boat to know that the boat's kind of pivoting on you. We're pretty unique in a 141-foot boat. We carry a 32-foot CV diesel inboard. We typically have a 23-foot inflatable diesel Nautica on the port side. But as you can see right now, we happen to have a submarine on board for some scientific research. We've got a 7-ton crane, 2 wave runners, kayaks, paddleboards, all the fun stuff you'd want. The previous owners actually brought on a mobile science lab, set it on deck, and went out and did genome sequencing. We've discussed bringing on science labs, dive chambers, movie editing studios. Really gives you a pretty cool opportunity to do some really unique stuff that your typical yachts just don't get to do. But in the working areas, we really kept non-skid decks, open beam ceilings. It keeps the look of an expedition yacht, but more importantly, it's easy to maintain. There's nothing hidden, so you don't have to worry about, is there rust behind a panel somewhere that you can't see on this boat. We really wanted to make it user-friendly, easier maintenance. When you're doing long trips, that ease of maintenance means less work for the crew, having to carry less crew, and ultimately less expenses for the owner. Any of the flat surfaces are Interthane 990. You never have to worry about rust because you see it. If you see a bubble, you can stop it. Whereas when there's fairing, sometimes by the time you see that bubble, it's too late. It's spread. So now we're in the captain's cabin. The captain's cabin on the boat is just after the bridge, which is great, obviously, when you're on long trips. She is a full commercial compliant bridge. There is redundancies for everything, so you've got 2 radars. You actually have 3 chart plotters, 3 independent GPS systems. The right here we have all of our GMDSS, so this is our global communications, everything from VHF, single sideband, everything to be GMDS compliant. Nice section up here for the guests to sit and have a coffee. So you have a camera system. Right now you're displaying 4 cameras, but there are 7 around the boat. So there's cameras, you can see all the different areas of the boat. The next screen you see here is navigational chart plotting. This is the one we use for navigation. We'll show you in a bit the one that we use for chart plotting and planning. 2 different radars, one's an X-band, one's an S-band. One is better for longer distance, one is better for shorter distance, one cuts through rain a little better, so you have both an X and an S. It gets you the best of both worlds. We've got 4 zero-speed stabilizers, so here's your controls to control your stabilizers, to fine-tune them as the ride requires. This is set up for depth right now, but it's also a secondary chart plotting, so we have a completely independent system should you lose one. Weather stations up top here, you can get your wind, humidity. So now we're on to my favorite part of the bridge, which is our digital chart plotting table. So this is basically, it's its own independent system, but I've got all the charts for the world right at my fingertips. Nice big display, easy, great for route planning. We are now 1 level below the bridge in the master stateroom. Obviously, full beam master, large picture windows, lots of space for guests, lots of space for crew, lots of space for mechanicals. We went with all stainless steel furniture, very heavy duty furniture, it's very rugged. We wanted stuff that if you're out in rough seas, guests could sit on and still feel comfortable. Every level has a full walk around. Having walk-arounds really makes the boat a lot safer for the crew and the guests when they have to move around, and again, a lot easier to maintain. There's no having to put on a harness to hang over to clean windows. The boat was built in 2006, but the interior is basically built 3 years ago as a new interior. This dining table is actually a single slab of stone, weighed about 900 pounds. Again, we're an expedition yacht. You know you're going to be going out in rough seas, so we worked closely with the team at Rybovich shipyard to build a structure to hold the table that is actually welded to the structure of the boat. These are our fridge and freezer for our day use. We also have additional fridge and freezer space throughout the boat. So this is where the chef keeps the stuff he's using for the next day or so. 2 washers, 2 dryers in here, rolling iron, all the stuff the girls would need to keep the interior clean and organized. We also have an additional set of washer and dryers in the back for deck towels and things that the girls might not want us to bring inside. We do carry 7 crew full time, so you have 2, and then the captain upstairs. Again, a 32-foot CV diesel inboard. You'll notice in today's configuration we actually have a submarine on board. This is a Triton sub. This is a 2-person sub that can go down to 1,000 feet. We got approached by a scientific organization that wanted to go do some research in the Bahamas. They had 2 subs. We said, hey, we can take those. So here we have a 7-ton Pilfinger crane on deck. This crane is a beast. It can lift anything. Our CV weighs 5 tons. We lift it no problem. It is collapsible, which is nice, so it doesn't take up a ton of deck space. So now we've made our way down to the heart of Marcato in our engine room. So starting here, as you enter, you've got our air conditioning plant with a nice large workbench on top of it. This is all a custom design unit. We just put it in last year. To the right of it, we have our water makers. We have 2 3,000 gallon per day water makers. That's a total of 6,000 gallons per day of water maker. Marcato is powered by 2 Caterpillar 3508B engines. The B designation is a D-rated engine. So what that means is they've actually rated the engines down to 1,000 horsepower. Max RPM is 1,650 RPMs. Comfortably cruising, usually between 1,100 to 1,200, maybe 1,250 RPMs. These engines were really designed more for commercial vessels, large fishing vessels, so they were designed for long distance, long hours, slow churning, big propellers, reduction gears in the transmissions. They're really the workhorse. In the center of the engine room here, we've got a hydraulic power pack. This hydraulic power pack We'll run our stabilizers when we're on anchor. So when you are on anchor, your mains are down. This will quietly run your hydraulics to keep your stabilizers, your crane, your winches all operating without the use of the main engines. Makes for a much quieter experience. So these are all the electrical panels to run all of our various pumps, from firefighting, ballast, hydraulics. Everything is done on breakers, big, large industrial breakers. Again, the boat was built by a commercial shipyard, so everything you see is built more to a commercial standard. All of our valves are marked, lines are marked. Really makes maintenance a much easier experience on the boat when you go to a line or a valve and there's a marking on it to tell you what it is. You don't have to go get a drawing out to figure out where that's going or what it's doing. Yeah, so the boat was designed where you could pretty much access all of the wiring and plumbing pretty easily. So a good example of it is here. This is a main line. There's main lines throughout. These will go into your overheads. When we did the refit, we spent a lot of care in designing a headliner system that I can remove any panel in the boat. So every headliner panel in the whole boat can be removed. One of the things with a true expedition yacht like ourselves is being able to work on it anywhere in the world. It makes it safer and also more efficient to run, less crew required, less subcontractors required, because things are easy to access and work on. Port and starboard, we've got 99 kW kilopack generators. The beauty of these generators is that they are 99 kW, kW meaning kilowatt. So we can run the entire boat's load on one generator. You don't need to run a second generator. That saves on fuel costs, maintenance, less oil changes. The entire boat will run on one. They are mounted on insulation. They've got hospital grade silencers, hospital grade mufflers. So this is the main hub of our fire system. We have independent fire systems inside of our generators. All of our crew are trained in firefighting. I think there's no better boat in the size range than Marcato. It has really truly been the highlight of my captaining career, the time I've spent on board her.
There's nothing like Marcato on the market today in the US or Europe. It's being offered by Globe Regal, and we invite you to come and inspect this vessel. Call me or any of our brokers in Europe in order to arrange a viewing of Marcato. Or go on Yacht World to see more details of this amazing vessel.